Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
And my favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and
Undiscovered
podcast.
And Rossy.
So let's, hey there, everyone. It's Curly here from the Unfiltered, Undiscovered podcast. Welcome to episode 175. And as Braggy just said to our special guest, we still don't know what we're doing. Just around the panel, we'll very briefly welcome Rossy, our celebrity roadie from Sydney. Down on the bottom of the screen, we've got Braggy from Adelaide, and up the top next to me, we have Allison Asarch coming to us from Friday night in Nashville. How are you, Allison?
I'm well, thank you. I'm so glad that we're back at it, hanging out on the podcast.
Back down under, Alison.
I know. I want to be there so bad. So, soon, one day.
So now, before we go any further, I do have to do this just to annoy one of my other fellow co-hosts, Al. So, Rossy, have you been to Nashville?
Yeah, I've been to Nashville. I think it's fantastic. Spent a lot of time on Broadway. What about you, Curly? Have you been to Nashville?
Yes, I've been to Nashville. I've really loved it. Loved Broadway and loved the songwriter route. Braggy, have you been to Nashville?
I don't need to go to Nashville because Alison brings Nashville to me.
You would have so much fun, but you would also have way too much fun. So it just depends on how long you want to be there. Yeah.
I would have more fun than these two.
I just want to say, I think it was uncharacteristically mean of Curly because he's never like this. He's always a very delightful and appropriately behaved young man.
What I like, Rossy, is we've got the American guest on, and you're like down in the dungeon music room there with a rose tattoo shirt on. This can't get any more Australian.
All right, so Alison, you were first on our show, episode 40, with when we first met you, and then in episode 55 we talked about Texas to Tennessee, your first album, and then in episode 81, we had you answer some Q&A with our Big Stu, our country music correspondent, and here you are again, episode 175. So let's get the party started. There's a lot been happening for you since we last spoke. Texas to Tennessee was your first album. And then since then, I guess there's that thing called marriage that happened. But you also went about doing your second album slightly different. So what's been happening?
I know. Yeah, I'm married. Yep, that's great. And this new album is totally different from my first album in a way that I feel like just as an artist, you grow, and as a person, you can grow. And I feel like I just really, really, really grew to loving songwriting more than I had prior to doing all of this. And I just love to tell stories, and I really enjoy creating stories. And I have been very fortunate to work with so many amazing co-writers on ideas that pop into my head, things that actually happened to me. And I'm like, I think this should be a song and we need to figure out how to make it work. And just being able to tell my stories to other people's stories in a way that I hope people can relate to. And it's just been the coolest experience to finally start having this new music out there, because I've been holding on to it for like 2 years. So it's exciting that people can hear it and love it and relate to it. And we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Was it a bit COVID delayed?
Sorry?
Was it COVID delayed?
No, COVID was kind of like the start of me becoming an artist in a way. So, because I feel like Texas, Tennessee came out during COVID, and right before I was going to start like playing around Nashville was when COVID hit. So I like finally got all the confidence to finally be like, oh yeah, let's go Nashville. And then boom, COVID hit. So And I think I've talked about this before, where I was very grateful for that because I really got to hone in on my guitar skills. I got to hone in on writing and recording and just kind of learning just the music industry in general and kind of figuring out who I wanted to be as an artist, which I still don't know what I want to be. But that's the best part. You just kind of keep going and figuring it out. But I think this is becoming more of who I love in music. And I just am excited for, everyone to hear the whole thing. But it's been just such a cool experience to kind of grow and meet new artists and also like work with different writers and kind of find the people that I'm like, oh no, we write really great songs together. Okay, cool, let's do this again. Oh no, that's so good. Okay, great, let's keep going. So it's been a really cool experience to kind of just keep on keeping on.
Alison, I know we're probably not allowed to talk about a lot of the songs. We've been lucky enough to have a little sneak preview.
Yes.
I think I'm allowed to say that a lot of the songs seem to be about growing a little bit older, a little bit more mature. Is the dream still as strong though from when we first?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the dream obviously is to become the next Taylor Swift, but better. But as we know, we love Taylor. But I feel like my mindset in a way has changed to being like, I just want to be financially stable doing what I love. So if that means that I am, playing however many gigs or whatever, as long as I somehow can just do it and, find the 1,000 fans that will buy my stuff and I'll have a 6-digit figure salary, then great. That's the dream. That's the dream. So it's really more just being able to find that balance of how is it possible to do it, because it's possible. It's just you gotta find the crew.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think when the first time we interviewed you, you're living the. I'm in Nashville. I'm singing songs. I'm playing at venues. I'm living the dream already.
Yeah, I am, exactly. And I've grown it too. Like I play in Florida all the time. I play in Florida like every month, and I want to grow more places. It's just the same thing that happened when I was chatting with y'all. Is I reach out to venues all the time saying, "Hi, I'm Allison. I'd love to come play. Please hire me. Here's my EPK, blah, blah, blah." And then just nobody ever responds. So my 2025 goal is to hopefully like have my first Allison Asarch ticketed show, and then probably be playing at least 2 gigs a month that are paying gigs. So so far so good. January we did it. We did 2 paid gigs. So woo! And we'll just keep on that track as we go on through the months. But I'm like I said, super excited for the album to now be out, so I have more content to kind of throw out there when I'm playing different gigs, and hopefully continue to grow the fan base slowly but surely, but in a good way.
Gutsy move to put out like a whole album, which is going to come out. Seems to be most of the people we have on now just put out drib and jab, one here, one there.
They do. It's because that's what they want us to do. And until I'm being told and paid that that's what I need to be doing, then I'll listen. But I don't care. It's not my music.
You've got Taylor's attitude too.
I just feel like, albums, and specifically like the 80s and the 70s music, the albums are amazing. And it's a project. And they all work together really well. And now people are like, oh, single here. Oh, here's an EP. Oh, okay, here's this. And it's not fully an album. And I just think a project should be a project. And I think that you should always try to sell that thing. And I'm going to release a song in February and in March, and then the whole album in April. But still, I have always thought that when people are like, here's the album, but they've released every single song already, and you know the whole album. So it's like, why are you gonna? It just doesn't make sense.
It's not a discovery. You know, back in our day, I guess you got an album, you knew the single that had come from the album, but that was about it, and the rest was a bit of discovery. It's, oh my God, listen to this song and listen to that song. And then artists today, they release their 8 songs and then say, hey, we've got an album, and you go, but I've heard them all. There's no discovery there.
Exactly. And it's different too because it's, streaming is insane and people don't go to buy an album anymore unless you like Taylor Swift. Like, she has marketed well enough to be like, you have to buy this album because I have 4 different ones and 4 different covers, and this one has this specific thing, so you need to buy this one. And you can only she's the smartest marketing queen, but just no one knows who I am, so it's like no one's gonna go to Target and buy an album that is mine, which my music isn't in Target yet, but it could be.
Listening to the record, I apart from the fact that the production values sounded really, really good, but it seemed to me as though there was a lot of thought put into the sequencing of the tracks. That there seemed to be a journey that were going on, and it's something we've discussed amongst ourselves a fair bit. But as I listened to it, I was actually felt like I was going a bit on the ride with you. How much time and effort did you put into that?
Amazing. Thanks. Well, I feel like this album, I had a lot more reins given to me because my first album, I was just like, I'm here. I love this. Great. And I was kind of just sitting on the side watching it being created, and I never really knew what to say. And then I created this set list for the track order on the first album, and I did with this one. But for the first one, I was like, it just kind of worked. I was like, I think this goes right, and then I think this one will go. And so when I was thinking of this album, I was because a lot of it is kind of ballady and kind of slower. So I was like, I don't want to lose people. So at first I had it where it was kind of going slow, fast in a way. And then my producer was like, that's a good start. How about we think about how do you what people are listening to and kind of go through it that way. And I was like, I spent so much time already on that. You got it. Okay. And I mean, of course, I then, went through and did it again. And I wanted there to be some type of element throughout all of my albums, my little Easter egg to whatever. And so the 13th track is always going to be some type of family track. And so the last one, which y'all know, but is a family track. And I have a few family songs on the album, but that one, my grandmother specifically has been asking me to write that song for a long time. So I was like, okay, it's going. But anyway, it took a while because this whole album process has been different than the first album process. I had a whole band in there in the studio with me, and that was the coolest experience ever. We were in the studio for 3 days doing all of my songs and being able to hear them say, oh wait, let's add this keyboard element. Oh wait, can I try this? And they were just taking the music and making it the coolest thing ever. It was so awesome. And how that really happened was, I was talking with my producer Aaron, and we played my our demo quote unquote track, which is just the work tape of whoever I'm writing with a guitar. And he would then kind of find the chords from listening to it. He's so talented. And then he would play it and be like, yeah, I think that's right? And I'm like, yeah. And so then he would play the work tape for the band, and they all listened to it one time, and they're like, got it. And they had the chart in front of them, but it was just the coolest thing ever that they were like, oh yeah, okay, I get the vibe, cool. And then I'm like singing in the other room. It was just such a fun experience, and I'm so grateful that I was able to have that experience, because the last album, they're definitely, every producer is different, but with my first album, it was more, I had the opportunity to go into the studio whenever I wanted to sing. If I felt like I didn't do well, Andy and Ren were like, okay, take the break, come back, you've had enough, come back. Because when I sing, I get very hard on myself if I'm not doing it correctly, and they're like, take the breath, come back. And Ren was amazing. He was able to do basically all the instruments, and we hired in a fiddle player for the first album, and that was really cool because he just sent him the tracks and he just created on top. He just improv on top, which was amazing. And then same type of thing with this album with we had a guitarist / mandolin player come in after, because he was on tour, and he came in and listened to the whole thing that everybody did and just played on top of that, which was awesome. But it's just been a cool experience to know that I've now had 2 different types of albums and 2 different producers, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to kind of see, okay, this is what I loved from that album, and this is what I'm learning from this album, and I learned this from that album, and this is how I want to sing in this album. And it's been super cool to have that experience and just kind of keep on going.
So when you get play live, are you just playing you solo with your guitar? So I'm saying you would just, all these songs you would have played, and that's the only way you've heard them, you playing the guitar and singing them. Wow. And then you go in and then and then baby's born.
Literally, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, this is amazing. And like they play, all the vibes and all the different instruments, and then they're adding their own little riffs, and it's so cool. And I'm not good at guitar either, so hearing my strumming to turn into finger picking and beautiful melodies, I'm like, that's what I was trying to go for.
So when you go back out now and play solo again, well, you're gonna go, oh God, how do I make it sound like that?
Yeah, no, it's pretty rough. I only play so many of the songs because I can't play all the chords. Yeah. So it's a pick and choose type thing. And spoiler alert for the next song, it's which you all know the song, but it's very catchy and very good and fast. But there's no way I could play it on guitar. And so one of my really good friends who is a fabulous guitarist, I reached out to her and was like, would you maybe want to do like an acoustic live version with me on this song, because I can't play it? And she was like, absolutely. So I'm excited for that. But it's just been and I know for the next single, I can play it. I just have to practice it, but I can do that. So it's been, my guitar journey is a silly one, but I'm there, and I always say, there will come a day where I will be able to pay someone, and I won't need to play unless I look like I'm playing like George Strait, just holding the guitar. But we'll pass that. We'll get there. But yeah, when I did play I played a festival 2 Julys ago in Denver, and I did play some of my guitar and off, and it was kind of cool. I thought that was pretty fun. Yeah, playing in front of people and like actually playing, so that was cool.
I had the pleasure of seeing you play at a songwriters round in Nashville when Sharon and I were there, and you played Better With Time, which is your first single off the album. Let's talk a little bit about that song and where did that song originate from? Because I mean, you're talking with 3 guys who are getting better with age. So
absolutely.
we resonate with this song
like a stinky cheese.
Exactly. See, like that just wouldn't really quote well in a song, but that is correct. That's why we got wine in there and other things. But
that's
yeah,
right.
like
I was going to say, I reckon I'm rapidly deteriorating.
Well, sometimes it's about the mindset, and that's fine. We just get more in the positivity realm of it. But the biggest story from it was when I was in my late 20s. There was someone on Instagram found me and said, I work for this manager, producer, what have you, and he'd love to work with you, but you have to sign an NDA to even learn about him or know who he is. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then I got on a call. Long story short, he was saying, because I'd done Sing On, so I had obtained a lot of money from the show, and he was like, so it'll be probably $20,000 to $40,000 for you to do all of this. And I said, well, no, I don't have the funds to do that, but thank you so much for your time. And he said he was upset, and again, long story short, was just like, well, country females do not make it after 29, so good luck, and hung up on me. And I was just like, ooh. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Did that really just happen to me? Did this act? No way. And
yeah, that's the one there. Rossi's got it right.
Yeah, exactly. And I work with a lot, or not just other, well, as y'all know, huge female empowered woman, me. And I work with so many amazing women in the industry, and I know so many women that are older than me who are crushing it. They're doing amazing things. They're moms. They are on the road. They are teaching. They're being able to do music and still grow and do all the things. But just some men think because we're women, we can't do that. And it's kind of crazy. So with that, I honestly think it was like last summer or maybe two summers ago, I got reached out to again, but by a woman who was working for the same person. And she was very into me, and it was the same kind of lingo. And I was like, there's no way this is about the same person. And it was. And she mentioned to me, you won't have to pay anything. And I was just like, thanks so much. But the other guy was still working with them. And I was like, I don't need to be associated. No. So that was just, interesting that I was reached out to, and she didn't know who I was and whatnot. But all this to say, I brought this into the writing room with Paige and Casey, basically saying, I've been needing to write about this. I want to write about this. Women, get told all the time that we can't be anything. And I'm turning 30 and I just disagree. And I know that I have so much life ahead of me. So let's make something. And what I've noticed too is a lot of women who are older than me and have listened to the song, they're like, I'm not 30, I'm 40 or 50, and this really resonates with me. Like, I know I didn't just turn 30, but this is the same. Like, this song is very, very similar to what I'm going through, which has been kind of what I wanted and also super cool. So.
Front door shut and the last friend left. Swap my party dress for a pair of sweats. Clean off my makeup, put on a face mask, and I'm 30 just like that. Women are told this is the start of getting old, but that's not how I want it to go. Like childhood homes, hand-me-down guitars, vintage boots and classic cars. Might not be new, but they're better used. Worn out pair of Levi jeans, dad's elbow with a rip in the seams. Shows where they're from, because they're well loved. And your favorite bottle of wine, the best things in life, they get better with time.
It's been a journey, but it's so cool. It's really exciting.
One of the things that happens when you get older is hopefully you get wiser. Maybe not that idiot from the record thing that you talked about, but most people do, and that really shows in your lyrics. The lyrics in this album, I think I mentioned to you before. I love. I know we can't talk about the songs, but man, are all the lyrics yours, Alison? Are all the songs, or is it
they're all
collab,
co-written. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I really think they're great. And as you know, I'm a big lyric fan. So
it's funny you should mention the lyrics. I was listening to a guy called Chris Difford this week on a podcast who was in a UK band called Squeeze.
Yeah,
he's one of the two songwriters, right? And he is the lyricist in the band. And he would write the song. He would write the words almost as poetry, and give his songwriting partner 20 or 30 songs, and he would come back a month later with all these songs based around the poems and lyrics this guy had getting. So I've never heard the approach like it.
Like Bernie Taupin and Elton John.
That's exactly right.
That's
the exact comparison they were talking about. But like, as a songwriter, the lyrics are they're your story. Elvis Costello, I've heard talking about, if someone uses my music, so what? Because I ripped it off someone else. but the lyrics are the most personal part of your story, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny when you go into different writing rooms because it's kind of like a therapy session. It depends on who you're in the room with, but most of the time, if you've written with them for a while, they kind of know way too much about you because there's so much that you need to talk about to be like, so this is why we're writing this song, but also like, look at me now, it's fine. And you and
oh
like,
no, here comes the girl that's aging not very well.
Right, but that's the thing is when you go into a write, you kind of, if it's like the first one too, you kind of have to feel the room, figure out who you're writing with, and also because they're your babies, you don't want to give out all of the things because sometimes you'll pitch an idea and then someone else will say, well, I have this idea, and the other, or some, you know, and you kind of whatever you're feeling that day to write, that's what you end up writing, and then you'll go back to the other ones at another time. But it's kind of silly to me too because in our different writes, we always have a place called the graveyard, which is all the lyrics that we never use that are just at the bottom of the sheet. They just are always there. And sometimes I feel like I just need to go through the graveyard because there are some good lyrics in there. They're not being used, you know? So that's just a little songwriter tidbit, but yeah,
I've heard
it's
one
pretty
that,
fun.
You sometimes you just you have to voice record all your melodies and you voice record all you write down your little things and all that sort of stuff. But a mate of mine who is a songwriter and he does pretty well at it, and he said he was explaining to my young fellow that he said that every now and again you're trawling around for a part and you can't understand it. If you dive into that archive, it's like stealing from yourself.
It really is. Yeah, literally, yes. And also though, with the melodies and stuff, you can be in a write and say something and everyone's like, that was great. What did you just say? And then you forget and it's gone forever. So like sometimes people just click record and record the whole session.
I'm not going to forget. I forgot.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's something that happens more frequently with age.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's something that happens more frequently with age, Braggy.
That's right. They say that drinking alcohol is not good for your short-term memory. Imagine what drinking alcohol does.
So, Alison, you've had a fair bit of publicity around Better With Time, and you've been popping up on my social media feed, not necessarily just yourself, but other sites that are sort of showcasing new music coming out of the capital of music, which is, of course, Nashville. But your social media has sort of ramped up as well. So the singles come out and Alison's out there having a good old-fashioned crack on social media. How are you finding that?
Thanks. I hate it, but it's great. I've created a team around me who's kind of, they've helped me figure out what the best things to do are, and also ChatGPT is amazing for content if y'all wanted to know. But I basically went in ChatGPT and said, this is my song Better Over Time, here are the lyrics, I am releasing it, blah blah blah, can you give me 50 content ideas? Go. And it gave me 50 content ideas, and then I said, can you give me another 50? Go. And it gave me, so I had I didn't make 100 videos, but a lot of it are the videos that I've been posting. And so a lot with content, people want you to make them before, so that way you're not taking like, oh no, I have to post, oh no. So I've been, like I said, sitting on this album for a long time. So being able to have the time to create videos and content over the last few months has been pretty cool and exciting. And I've put out some ads for the song, and I will for the next couple songs too. And that's been silly to see who's excited about meeting me through my music, and then also seeing the silly boys that are like one of my videos says, I'm an independent, it's like on top, but it's me singing Better With Time. I'm an independent artist. I pay for everything. Put this song in your background or whatever. And like, they're like, we can tell. And so I'm like, thank you. Yes, exactly. That's the point. That's the point.
That's
like they're
good.
trying to be me. And I'm like, exactly. Weirdos. Like, it's just, people trying to be trolls, and that's fine. But it's just, I have haters, and I'm excited about it. Like, that's what, you want to have that. And that just means that there was something there that they were like, ooh, let's make her mad.
It means you're outside your echo chamber. There's people listening to you who don't like you. Good. That's the thing, right? That's the thing.
Yes.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
As
So
an artist, social media is so important to you. It is so onerous and takes up so much time and hard work, but important.
Yeah. And so and there are videos that I'm just kind of sitting on because I'm like, do I post that? And I need to stop being in my head and just post it, because one of my friends, actually Paige Ruderman, who is one of my co-writers on Better Time, she has a podcast as well called So Rude Podcast. And when I was talking with her about social media, she was saying that she heard this from someone else, that posting on social media is like the lottery. If you don't post, it might not go viral. So the more you post, the more opportunities you have to go viral. So this depends on, it doesn't matter what platform you're posting. It could be anything. And obviously TikTok here in America now, it's kind of in this iffy state, but TikTok is huge for musicians. And I can go live, and people who've never heard of me are on there, and I'm singing songs, and they're requesting, and they're following, and it's just a really cool platform for people to find you as an independent artist.
Yeah. But it's onerous in the amount of work you have to put in to get. But you're right. You absolutely have to do it. Someone said to me, and I came out of a digital comms world. I spent a lot of time working in it in its infancy and all the way through. And one of the things is that social media has no memory. So if you think you're posting too much, you probably aren't. Firstly, you've got a global 24-hour news cycle whereby you're picking up different people at different times of the day, and you can read that through reading your analytics and things like that. But you post something, especially in a story or those sort of things, it's gone, and people like it. So repost, you can recycle stuff and go through that. But it's still because they keep on changing it, the way algorithms record and work on you, that you got to just keep on trying, experimenting and pushing. But who got time for that?
I know. And to release music and perform it, and it's all of it is what they want you to do is
eat, sleep, and work.
Go to work,
they
be a
want you to do
person.
all of the hard work.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
Can we get a scoop of what the next single will be, or are we too early?
I was going to ask that.
Okay, well, because you're the boys.
There's only 7 people.
Shout out.
There's only 7 people in Australia.
And they're all in Brisbane with Curly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you the exclusive.
Okay.
Because you deserve it. So next up, we have Souvenirs of Love. It's the end of February, which is the very catchy song that I can't play guitar on, but I love it so much. And then in March, we have Big Apple Red, which I'm very excited about. It's a really good song. And then April 25th is the album, and the album is called Souvenirs with Love, because it's So Souvenirs of Love. Oh goodness, I couldn't tell you. Of Love. I'm right. Yeah. So I'm excited.
That is a scoop.
That is a scoop.
Yeah.
So all the 7 people in Australia,
no one knows
I tell you,
other than you. I'm telling you, that you're the first people to hear it. So
Wow.
give y'all a little nod.
Thank you very much.
Well, our 14 million viewers, Curly, now will know that.
You just said there's only 7. So, Alison, now there is a story behind Shout Out to the Boys. So, and it's really cool that you picked up on We're the Boys. So, every country artist we have, and we've had a couple here from Australia, and we have the Golden Guitars here in Australia. And they go on the red carpet to go to the Golden Guitar Awards in Tamworth. So Tamworth is like a scaled down version of Nashville for 1 week a year, but it's amazing. So every time we have an artist on, we say, when you're on the red carpet, all we want to hear is shout out to the boys. and we never expect anyone to do it, right? It's just a little bit of fun. Anyway, a lovely lady called Brittany Elise, who spends half her life in Nashville, half her life here, did our very first shout out to the boys. So we were just,
I saw. I was so excited for you. It was so exciting.
So your challenge will be when you're on the
CMAs.
CMA red carpet.
Yes.
Imagine that. Alison's on the red carpet talking to Reba McEntire or someone. Shout out to the boys.
Oh, shout out to the boys. Yeah. It's going to happen.
It will happen.
It will happen.
Visualization. We're with you. We're with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have got the scoop. So that is awesome to hear. So you're currently doing you play in Florida, and that's a big drive, and I think it's 9 hours you were telling me or something to do that particular.
Whereabouts in Florida?
It's called Ocala, Florida. It's in the middle of nowhere, but it's horse country, and they have I play at the Equestrian Hotel there, and it's the most beautiful place you'd ever see.
Sounds like it'd be warmer than Nashville.
Oh, it is. And it's so silly because when it's like 60 degrees, they have heaters because that's too cold for all of the Floridians. It's so funny.
Sounds like Australia.
Oh, wow.
Florida is like Queensland. It really is.
Yeah, possibly. Hey, Alison, did Nashville get snow this year?
We did. And it was like the perfect snow because, like always in Nashville, they have to shut it down because we don't know what we're doing. But it snowed for probably like 4 to 6 hours. It just fell, and I would say we had like 3 to 5 inches. And then the next day, luckily the snow didn't ice over, so it like melted perfectly. And then the day that it was a Friday, and then Saturday, and so it was like a perfect snow weekend. And the snow was like perfect packing snow. So snowmen were easy to build, and my dogs loved it. And if I wanted to leave the house, I could, but I didn't have to worry about the roads. So it was like the perfect snow weekend. It was literally amazing.
That is excellent.
Given your first record, does that mean that you're originally from Texas?
Yeah, so I'm from Houston. And then I went to school in Ohio, but when we were driving from Texas to Ohio, we stopped in Nashville. And that was when I was like, oh, okay, that's where I want to be. So when I graduated college, I moved to Nashville in 2018. And the album came out, I think, in 2021, something like that. But and Andy Renfrey, who is one of the people who helped me with that album and is one of my co-writers on a few songs on this album. But she was like, I think Texas to Tennessee, that's you. And I was like, you're so right. It is me. So that is why it's called Texas to Tennessee.
Excellent. So, sorry, Braggy.
I was just going to ask if hubby was a Nashville guy. I mean, we don't get personal on this show, but...
We're friends.
Know.
He is a unicorn, and from Nashville area has been his whole life. So it was kind of silly that I met him, and also not on dating apps, which we're very proud of. So that's been nice. So his family's here, which is great, and my family is.
Did you pick him up at the, Did you pick him up at a show? Go, like the look of him. You come here, boy.
No.
It's good to have some support when you're doing what you're doing. It's good to have that support.
It's great.
Oh yeah, no, I don't pay any bills, which has been very nice. I just started paying a couple bills, so now I pay for TV and Google Fiber. But it's been a long time where I have not paid anything because I'm doing my thing, and he, knows that. So it's been really cool to have him support.
That is 100%, absolutely awesome. So, Alison, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you again. It was awesome for you to find the time to catch up with Sharon and I when we were in Nashville. That was truly a highlight, to go to a songwriters round at the Virgin Hotel. That was just so cool. And it got us out of Broadway for a night. But
I know, right? Yeah, definitely. I watched those episodes on it.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing. right?
Oh,
Staying
no,
away
it is.
from Broadway.
Yes. Yeah. Just for a little bit, just to kind of see, because most of those artists who are on Broadway, they are doing that too. They're, also songwriters. They're just not allowed to sing their own stuff or they'll get fired.
Yeah, or they don't get the tips if they don't play
Yeah.
songs that people know. And I think I made mention that Shania Twain's song and Steve Earle, Copperhead Road, was just every bar you walked into, it just seemed to be that was the song of the moment. So covers are very much the go down in Broadway, and I actually can't wait to get back to Nashville and explore down, because people tell me about Printer's Alley. Is it Printer's Alley?
Yeah.
And there's other little secret spots, and I'm thinking, my God, I didn't even scratch the side. So
Exactly.
Are you playing tonight, Alison?
Oh no, I'm home.
Okay.
What am I doing? I think I play in a couple weeks. I think in a few weeks I go back to Florida. But right now it's just a lot of video stuff for the next few songs. We recorded the music video for Better With Time on Wednesday.
Ooh.
And now, yes. And again, I have just so many clips of things that I'm just like, do I post that? I don't know. So there's a lot of behind the scenes still going on, which is terrifying and exciting. So right now, not that shows are on the back burner, it's more just, okay, oh wait, maybe I should book myself, because again, I do it all. So it's more me forgetting to email the venues, but it's been fun.
Well, I've got a crazy little dream that sits there in the back of my mind, and I can just imagine you coming out to Australia and being backed by this band that I know called Rail Motor. Because I think those
that would
boys...
be dodgy. That would be the end of the career.
Career killer. Be like Lou Reed doing Lulu with Metallica.
Yeah.
Could be worse, I suppose. Could be back by the turnbuckles.
Absolutely. So, Alison, your social media, give it a bit of a shout out. Where can people find you with these videos that you're not sure whether to post or not?
Basically. Allison Asarch Official. And then you can always go to AllisonAsarch.com, which has all my things there. But on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and that's Allison Asarch Official. YouTube, Allison Asarch. Awesome. So new album comes out April 25th.
That's
it's called Souvenirs of Love, which is, we're lucky enough to heard that song, and it's a cracker.
Yeah,
and,
I know.
And I know Braggy loves that. Not the Souvenirs of Love's great, but he loves that Big Apple Red. So you've certainly chosen three great songs to lead into this album. So I hope it's a huge success. All of your links, of course, will be in our show notes. And your music, as you release it, will add to the Unfiltered and Undiscovered playlist on Spotify. So we've actually got two now, because we have a lot of female what we call fresh country artists. So you'll be added to both of those playlists, and so people can discover your songs. So thanks, boys. Thanks for getting up Saturday morning. I know that sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge for us at our age. So
I appreciate you. Thank you.
But especially appreciative of Alison giving up part of her Friday night to have a chat with us. So we really do wish you every success, and we just hope that the album continues to build. So so next week, for our listeners, we will be talking with Brenda Lee Kelly from Waiting for Brenda, and we have a young Brisbane girl the following week called Sienna Lawson, who has just had a number one on, I think Alison will know this platform, the A-Break charts.
Yay, amazing.
So we will be having a chat with Sienna, everything going well. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you so much, Alison, and we will see you all next week. Bye for now.